you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you are welcome to the August edition of Medtationsmedia Business LunchHour. And we want to believe that today we'll go with something very tangible. Today we're looking at profiting from the knowledge economy. Our theme for the August edition is profiting from the knowledge economy. Last year we started a series on multiple streams of income, and we examined the 14th sector. Though we didn't finish all of the 14th sector, but they were highlighted. Primarily, we identified the 14 sectors of the end-time business as the food sector, number 1, the shelter and engineering, number 2. We looked at the clothing and the makeup. We also looked at the 4th one, information and communication technology. The 5th one, we looked at the health sector and wellness. The 6th sector is the media, entertainment, and arts. The 7th is education. The 8th one is transportation. The 9th is hospitality. The 10th one is finance and economy. The 11th is politics and law. The 12th one is religion. The 13th is energy, oil, and gas. And then the 14th one is waste management and renewal. And so we're looking today at the education sector, how to profit from the knowledge economy, which is the baseline of the education sector. There's something about education that underlines virtually everything. You need the information to benefit from every other sector. So we're looking at how do you profit from the knowledge economy. And towards the end of this presentation, we're also going to be looking at a presentation on waste management and renewal, which is a new technology from the US, which I believe everyone at this infant stage will take advantage to key into and be a part of this end-time world that God is bringing to us. So basically, when you look at education, it has a baseline of information. Information is key to becoming enlightened. Whatever your pursuit in all of the 14 areas, there has to be a baseline of information that is an entry into whatever you desire to do. So I'll be looking at just 4 parts of the knowledge economy. The first is the information part. Until you are abreast of the information, your profiting can be denied completely. Because whatever you don't know is available, you really can't subscribe to. It's what you know is available that you can stretch towards. And when we talk about education per se, it can be formal and informal. In fact, in the 21st century, you gain more informally than formally. Because the information gateway is so wide for everyone to tap into and take advantage of what is available. What used to be a secret 10, 15, 20 years ago is not a secret anymore. How the Catholic Church advanced and kept the Bible away from people. Right now, in a church service, you can be tweeting the pastor to let him know what he just said is wrong. Yes. In TDJ's church, as he's preaching, they are also putting their comments and their prayers. So it's not easy for a pastor to be making reference to Jude chapter 4 when something like that does not exist. One of the gatherings I was privileged to attend, the person quoted a very wise man and mentioned that the man lived for 55 years. And right there, the people just quickly went to Wikipedia to check that the guy lived 68 years. So at the end of it, they stopped him and told him, so it wasn't 55 but 68 years. He died at the age of 68. But he couldn't apologize again. If it was before, you would have just absorbed everything sacrosanct. But right now, we can check on you as we are talking. They are checking to confirm whether what you have said is true or not. So the information gateway is open. But many people enjoy what the information gateway has to offer, but they never process it. Because until what you have read is processed, it never converts into profiting. So, and information is available. Source of information is everywhere. Personal relationship can deliver to you information. The gateway, the internet gateway has a lot more. We have books in hardcover and softcover. Whatever you want to lay your hands on any idea or any area of this income sector, there is information. But information alone does not deliver the profit. It does not. Because if not, everyone on the internet gateway should actually be very rich by now. But the answer is a no. So that means beyond what is available, you must be able to process it and take it to the next phase. The next phase is very crucial. Now, beyond being informed, there are information that has to be converted into competencies, which is the second level. Until the information is converted into competencies, you don't develop the required skills to be able to apply yourself to benefiting from what is available. For example, in whichever area that you want to operate, out of this, there are two kinds of skills that you will need. The first one is technical skills. The second one is general skills. For anyone to succeed in any of the sectors, you must be able to acquire two kinds of skills. The first is technical skills. The technical skills takes you through a training that fits you into that sector. That's why no matter how much you read about medicine on the internet, if you don't acquire the technical skills of a doctor, you'll never be able to prescribe. Even when you have acquired the skill, they still want to be sure, so they subject you to professional exams before they give you a license. So licenses are what certifies that the technical skills you have acquired will not turn people into dead men and women. So every knowledge, until it is proven and tested, does not elevate you to the point of technical skills. The general skills are things that will make the technical skills productive. It's possible to be an engineer, but you know much about engineering, but there are other things that can power the engineering. That's why we'll look briefly at the non-technical skills or the general skills. The first one is relationship skills. You need that very, very, very well. If you are going to profit from the knowledge that you carry, you need relationship skills. You need to be able to relate. Your profiting is tied to people. It's not tied to things. Your profiting is tied to people. It's not tied to things. Until people's needs are met, they don't care how much you know. So you need relationship skills. Number two, you need communication skills. Very important. You need communication skills. No matter how good the ideas you are carrying, until you are able to convince another person on what you are carrying, it stays with you. And when it stays with you, you don't reward yourself. So beyond relationship skills, you need to step up to acquiring communication skills. Communication skills is what helps to convert your ideas into conviction in the mind of others. There are many people walking the streets who have very wonderful and beautiful ideas, but they have never been communicated. And where they are even communicated, they are communicated to either the wrong people in the wrong environment and the wrong timing. So communication skills will help you to take care of your audience, will help you to take care of the environment, and will help you to take care of the timing. Communication skills, very crucial. Whatever area you find yourself, either now or in the future, you will need to communicate. Let's break down the communication skills into another three. The first one is writing skills. Writing skills. In the journey of life, you will do more writing than talking. You will never be opportune to speak with people over every issue. That's why when it comes to communication skills, the pillar of it is the writing skills. Ability to put your thoughts into words that another can read without your presence. Many people are waiting until they have an audience with people. The 21st century will not give you audience with everybody you want to meet. So you need to start developing writing skills, ability to put your words, your thoughts into letters, into figures, that someone else will be able to read them, understand what you are thinking about and what you want to pass across. And in any sector, until you are able to communicate effectively with writing, the profiting can be hindered. That's why when you claim you know a subject, they subject you to writing skills. They set the questions and give you and tell you to answer the questions. If you keep telling the teacher, I know this thing, I know it even when I close my eyes, but prove it. So writing skills helps to prove what your claims are, and then they help to validate whatever the claims. The second one is speaking skills. Ability to use words to affect the decisions of other people. Even in finding your relationship with other people, speaking skills are quite important. Using words and a combination of your facial expression, a combination of your body language, all of them come into play when you talk about your speaking skills. The first is writing, the second is speaking. You need to be able to understand that these two are crucial when you talk about communication. Whether it's in the office, at home, in a community, in a church, wherever you find yourself, you will not always have the audience that you desire. You need to devise a method to write, to speak, and also to pass across. The third one under communication is presentation. Presentation skills. Every great idea can suffer a setback if the packaging is poor. Every great idea, no matter how wonderful it is, can suffer a very rude setback if the packaging and the presentation is poor. Even when you talk about the relationship between a man and a woman, when a man wants to go and present his manifesto to marry his wife, it's likely to rehearse for almost some weeks and look at which dress will befit the occasion. I mean, I can't share some secrets with you, but that really happened. There was a heavy rehearsal so that you don't present a manifesto and it's rejected at the point of entry. You know, certain manifestos can be rejected at the point of entry. How many of you know what I'm saying? Dr. Dale knows very much what I'm saying. So, packaging is crucial for the 21st century. Packaging. Many of you will take a bottle of Coke at the expense of Zobo that is more medicinal, not because the Coke is beneficial to your health, but because the packaging is superior than Zobo that is in the nylon. And when you are even in a big function and they offer you a Zobo drink that is more medicinal, you are likely to reject it and accept the bottle of Sprite that has 7 cubes of sugar. What has happened? In communicating the drink to you, there was proper packaging. And when they come with subjects of advertisement, they ensure that the thing is sweating just to affect the inside of you. Now, how many of you have looked at the bottle of Coke very critically? Behind the design of the bottle of Coke is seduction. Why is the bottle of Coke not straight? How many people have asked that question before? Why don't you find the bottle of Coke just, is it not to drink? No. This operates by a management law called the law of seduction, giving you a feeling that what you are holding is not a bottle but a woman. It's psychological. They attack your mentality psychologically. So you find a lot of people, even when the Coke is finished, they still hold it. Psychology. All of that is very important because they affect packaging. That's why you find a lot of beverage companies, they do heavy research on not just the product in the factory, but how will it be received by the people? How will the marketplace respond to it? How will they accept it? And when they accept, how will they be able to ensure that they secure their loyalty? Because the ultimate of the marketplace is loyalty. For many years, even children will choose a bottle of Coke above Pepsi. Why? The Coke has used advertisement, conviction, everything to push Coke. At the background of the company, many years ago, they asked their management, what's your vision for Coke? They say, oh, absolutely no problem. 1/3 of the world is covered by land. We want to cover the remaining 2/3 with Coke, not with water. And today, there is no single village on earth that you are not likely to find a bottle of Coke. But all of the principles went into play to be sure that you get to the marketplace. The reason why we're looking at all of these sectors is to ensure that you can attack the marketplace and sustain your relevance in the marketplace. If you are able to sustain your relevance in the marketplace, then the profiting is secured. So you need both the technical skills around whatever area of business you are looking at, and also the general skills. The top set of skills under the general is the business skills. Business is a bit more technical than the word we use. There are many skillful people that may still remain poor because they lack the business skills. They lack the difference between financial literacy and financial illiteracy. Ability to read figures, ability to know the difference between what is an asset and what is a liability. Ability to differentiate between what is an income and what is an expenditure. Many people have the technical skills, but they don't have the other ones. So you need financial literacy that is tied to business skills. You need to be able to read numbers. You must be able to know the difference between 700 naira and 7,000 naira. Not only in words, but on paper. Not only in words, but on paper. So you first you have the information. The second one, you have your competencies that is rallied around your skills development. The third thing we're looking at is the network. So you have first information, then secondly you have competencies where your skills are developed, technical and non-technical. And then number 3, you have your network. Under the network is where the people exist. If you need an engineer in Abuja today, I'm likely to be able to produce about 2,000 for you in different shades, whether they are civil engineers, structural engineers, or whatever. But when a job is about to be given out and it's only one engineer that you want to give it to, there are particular names that come to your mind. It happens to everybody. If you want to give us a job now, we have what you call like an order of preference. If you ask me, oh, I need an electrical engineer, I can produce about 30 for you, 30 electrical engineers in town. But I'm not likely to give the job to the 30 of them. There must be one of them that will eventually get the job. The decision making as to who gets the job is not dependent only on competencies. Information is primarily determined by the placement in the network. The placement in the network is so crucial. That's why you may know what is happening in Abuja. How that the minister has awarded new contracts, how that the road in Kuje is going to be dualized and all of that. That's information. Everybody is likely to read it either on the net or read it through newspapers. You may even be an engineer, but if you fail to be part of the network, job will not come. So the network is where the people are. And it is the people that is the penultimate connection to your profiting. There is really no profiting without people. Because when men have gathered the information and they know who they want to give the job to, they still go back. And that's why people do everything to identify with a network, because of the flow. So let's look at 3 primary networks that exist. The first is the church network. Unfortunately, is the weakest. The weakest. Because it's a formal setting that makes you come in and go out without any relationship. Everything, if not most things, is superficial. You really don't have an input in terms of decision making. You have appearance, but you really don't carry any benefit under the church network. So if you're a serious businessman, you can belong to the environment. Don't put all your eggs there. That's the truth. But you know I'll tell you the truth. Very important. The second kind of network is the community network. Under the community network, you have education. Let me use the word schools. Schools attended. About 3 months ago, I left for a meeting in Lagos. And the meeting was planning for the 40th anniversary of our old school. The school will be 40 years next year. And they wanted some of the old boys to come, sit together, and bring money. The bottom line for that meeting was money. It wasn't, even if you don't come, if you send substance, they are likely to acknowledge you at the meeting. That, oh, he wasn't able to come, very busy, but, everybody say but we saw his hand. So I said, no, I won't send substance. Because there are people, since we left school, I've not seen them in the last 30 years. So I got information that they were coming. We have a Facebook site. I've gotten those who have responded, I'll be there. So I saw about 20 people that I've not seen in 30 years who will be at the meeting. So I flew in from Abuja after a service on Sunday. When I got there, they didn't allow me to even participate in everything they were doing. It was reenacting what it was between 35 years ago and 30 years ago. Out of all of them, some of them have developed pot belly. I was looking a bit enlarged. Joy, you understand? It wasn't oversized. A bit enlarged, but exactly the way I was looking 35 years ago. But one thing I gained was that within the 3 hours of staying together, what flowed under the community is unbelievable. Because it was easy for everybody to quickly say, hey, once we have your contacts, I will come to Abuja again. This is what I will do, this is what I will do. And I can't tell you in 2 months, a lot of this are flowed from that side. Community, the schools. And the one I'm even talking about that is bringing this profit is secondary. So I decided to quickly go and join the primary. I wasn't active on Facebook before, but quickly I supplied all my information and the responses started flowing. Primary. The one for university, they are always everywhere. Those ones don't pay you too much. But these ones, they have a deep allegiance. Deep allegiance. They knew the way you are when you were a raw material. Not now that you are a finished product. So very important, we need to understand the place of community as it affects your network. place of community, and part of it is the schools. The schools have a lot of effect on what happens. That's why, as we begin to think about strategic parenting, the choice of the schools are also important, because the bonding that you develop under these environments, they stand the test of time. They stay for a lifetime. They stay for a lifetime. They stay for a lifetime. So you have this education. The second one is the previous places you have lived. Many people don't stay in a simple town from childhood to old age. You hardly find that. Sometimes you need to change your location. Many people grew up in certain parts. They had to move as they became adults. I had the privilege some people live in one side, they school there, they do all of that, but I had a diversified thing. I was living in the north, so I had a different class of people who are my friends in the north when I come home for holidays. And I schooled in the south all my life, from Lagos to Ife to all of the places. So I had a double advantage. Where I lived was different from where I schooled. And finally, I neither stayed in any of the two places in my work life. So it provided a tripod. Where I work now, where I lived before, and all of my school days. So community helps you to expand your sphere of influence. Community helps you to expand your sphere of influence, and education plays a major role. Number two, where you live, and finally, where you presently work, just like the top part, where you presently work, which is where you attend to the basic living that you desire to be part of. These are all very crucial if you are going to profit from the education sector. And then beyond this, is the final one, which is the delivery of solutions. Delivery of solutions. The ultimate of information is converting what you have been informed in into products or services. The ultimate of information, until it's converted into a product or a service, it does not add value to the people. And people don't pay for futures, they pay for value. What extracts money from people? They are not futures, they are values. And values are the benefits that people can derive from your product or from your service. From your product or service, values and the benefits. Some years back, when we were just starting the office, and there was this migration from the electric typewriter into the computer. A young man was a salesperson, and came to market a computer to us in the office. So when he came in, a winner, no problem. He spoke for 10 minutes. He was talking about the computer, 14 gigabytes, 89 RAM. He mentioned all manner, everything he mentioned I didn't understand. Because they were computer language. The RAM, the memory, the brain, the pixel, everything. I was wondering. So when he finished, I said, do you know you have not talked? He said, no, I've been talking since. He said, you didn't talk. I said, all you have told me in the last 7 to 10 minutes are the futures of this computer. You have never mentioned once what this laptop will do for me. If you're going to get money from me, the first thing you should tell me is that this laptop will put food on my table. How? It will make the job faster. What you used to do for 20 minutes, you can do in 5 minutes. Speed. So if you are able to convince me on 3 things, speed, storage, and some other benefits, I will only part with my money because of value. I will not part because of futures. And that is very important when it comes to delivery of solutions. Delivery. People don't part with their money for futures. They don't. You hardly find anyone parting with money for the futures in a Bible. If the Bible is so beautiful, it's gold plated from head to toe, but it doesn't write, will you buy it? I don't like to put a cover. Because the ultimate value the Bible is to deliver is to be able to write. If it's golden, the one in my pocket is golden, but it doesn't write. It's for decoration. That's why when they are supposed to write offering in church, I don't bring it. It's permanently in the pocket. One day somebody said, can I please use the Bible? I say it's for decoration. It's not for writing. But it's purely for decoration. The ink there has dried up since, and I didn't get a refill. So unfortunately, you find people trying only to market futures to people, and people don't pay for futures. Futures attract people, but they carry no value. So futures aid marketers, but it does not take money from people. What people pay for is value. They pay for the benefits they can derive from what you are offering. That's why information, until it's converted to products or services, they don't turn into money. They don't. There's some information that is going around town now. Everybody knows about them, but no one has been able to turn them into values. Nobody. Until those information are turned into values, you hardly find any profit in coming there. So these four processes are crucial when we try to benefit and profit from the knowledge economy. You can be armed with information, but until that information is turned into usable skills. Skills is what helps to interpret your knowledge into what another can appreciate. I remember when we were transiting from manual drafting to AutoCAD. We had people there who knew nothing. They were not even architects. All they do is they draft for you. And most often than not, what you are trying to communicate to the client, they don't understand. So when they take the drawing and go and bring it back, what they bring back is not what was on your mind. So you keep going around in circles until you sit down to acquire the same skills yourself. Because skills is what translates knowledge into what another person can appreciate. And you have, like we said, both technical and non-technical skills, or what you can call general skills. And very crucial out of them is communication. You need that. You need to be able to relate, relationship skills, you need communication skills, and then you need business skills. And under the business skills, you need the financial skills, ability to read figures, ability to understand numbers, the difference between an asset and a liability. A young man was so excited that just built his house. What about 25 million? I was sharing with me and said, let's say, Sam, we're moving into a house. I said, fine. I said, do you have any business outside of business? No, just living in the house is exactly. I said, you are inside the liability. He said, what do I mean? I said, your house is a liability. I don't bring money for you. I said, I have houses. I'm not living in them. So I would rather collect rent from them than go and live in a 10-bedroom house. But you know, it attacks your religion because it's different from the other side. On the business side, it's different. Your house is a liability. It's not an asset. So under business skills, you need to be able to know what is. Your suit is a liability, it's not an asset. Except when you put it on, they're likely to give you a job at FCDA. Dr. Daniel, am I speaking your language? Because it's part of packaging, heavy packaging, where your appearance must be enhanced. What am I saying? You need under business skills to know the difference. There's a thin line between liabilities and assets. You need to understand, is this really liability? Anybody under 50 shouldn't be pursuing liabilities. You should have things that bring money into your pocket and the ones that are taking money, and be able to do a dividing line between the two of them. And then we talk about your network. No matter how good you are, nobody is giving you a job is a big problem. There are very good and competent contractors in Nigeria, but they have not gotten any jobs since January. Why? there's something missing about the network that they belong to. You can be competent, you can be well informed, but the network determines the delivery. The network is what determines the flow. What flows to you is determined by what network you fall into. And fortunately for us, we have quite a couple of networks, but we looked at two. We have the church network because you spend a lot of time there. Why? Because there are 4 aspects of your life. You have where you live, where you work, where you worship, and your leisure. These are the 4 departments of your life, and they affect the community. Those are the 4 departments. Number 1 is where you live. The second is where you work. The third is where you worship. And then the 4th is your leisure, the location of your leisure. These 4 sectors will determine where destiny will ultimately take you. And this is where you build your community. You build your community around these 4. Where you live, where you work, where you worship, and where you leisure. That's why you find people belong to IBB golf course. Even though it's leisure, the ultimate is network. It may appear to be leisure on the surface, but it's not the golf that is the attraction. The ultimate is the people, the network. Because projects are not decision makers, people are the decision makers, not projects. Projects are developed by people, but projects are also shared by people. There's no project that can share itself. If not, it will fund itself. So you find these 4 as the one responsible for your network. Whether knowing that I went for a Bible school at Orozo, and when I said that, the men looked around. Unfortunately, it was 95. That was only one person who didn't put attachment. Every other person had attachment. So I told the men there, I said, why don't you start this attachment business? Big money there. Because there are over 70 million women in Nigeria. So if 7 million are using attachment and you are only selling for 20 naira, bagger, you know your guess is as good as mine. Big money. So you have appearance value. Number 2, you have entertainment value. That's why you find most men who fight with their husbands watching DSTV or football. I wonder. I said, if you know the entertainment value men are gaining from this football, you won't fight them. You won't. You will even be forced to learn about, what is it? My younger sister used to be against football because she discovered that even with prayer and fasting, she still didn't succeed to change anything. Because when you want to watch a good program, the eyes of the men will change in the house. Don't try it or don't change anything. Don't try it at all. So they wanted this small letter. So what are they getting there? One person to another, the other one say, you don't understand anything. Entertainment value. Even the people playing in the field, those who are watching are sometimes more tired than those who are playing. By reason of shouting. So you find value as the motivation for parting with money. Nobody is motivated by futures. Everyone is motivated by value. When you are hungry, it's food value that you're looking for. No matter what, if somebody prays for you when you are hungry, you are not likely to say amen. But when they give you food and after that they pray, you're likely to say a bigger amen. Why? Because the value precedes every other thing. So we're talking about delivery of solution as the driving force. Bringing solutions to the marketplace is what enables people to part with money. Is what encourages them to part with money. No matter what you have in mind, until it becomes a product in their hand, you really don't find anyone parting with money. So finally, I'd like us to understand that with education comes responsibility. Because what you know and you are not able to convert into what I can call profit, is actually a burden. Every information has the ultimate of conversion. What you know is for your benefit. What you know is for your benefit and for your profiting. Until you are able to convert it, until you are able to transform it into product or services, you don't get any profiting from there. I pray that this next quarter, not the next quarter anyway, the next third of this year, the remaining 4 months, we deliver good profiting to everyone else. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.